My senior year of high school, I often spent my study halls scrolling through YouTube, looking for any semi-interesting video as a means of convincing myself to continue procrastinating the work I had due next period. I'm not the most proud of the choices I made senior year. During one of these aimless searches through the YouTube homepage, I came across a video that would lead me through an introspective journey I couldn't have prepared for. The bright red background was the first thing that caught my eye, followed by a stick figure drawing of a bushy mustached, unkempt man proclaiming, "God is dead." Following the natural process, my eyes darted to the title of the video, Nietzsche, the man who vibe-checked God. My excitement got the better of me, and I googled Nietzsche quickly into the video, just because I was so excited. As I looked up from reading Nietzsche's Wikipedia page, I saw my favorite English teacher walking down the hall. He just so happened to be teaching the ethical philosophy class I was going to take the next semester. I thought, if there was anyone to ask about a philosopher, it was him. I went up to him and asked if he was familiar with Nietzsche. He looked at me confused and said, "Yeah, I read him in college. He gets misconstructed. He's a big anti-nihilism guy. A lot of people miss that." And he told me he still had his copy of The Gay Science from college. He said he'd bring it in the next day and give it to me. Sure enough, when I walked into his class the next day, the book was lying on his desk. "It's all yours," he told me. I grabbed the book and began reading, only to become confused as my eyes were greeted with nursery rhymes. Why would a German philosopher start his book with nursery rhymes? It reminded me of when I was in kindergarten, and I'd sit on a yellow mat staring blankly at Dr. Seuss, because the words looked like foreign symbols to me. Couldn't comprehend what was in front of me at all. But I spoke, so that was okay. What was the point of trying to read? I'd stare up from my book and see my teacher looking down at me disappointingly, because I was further behind in reading than everyone else. I would imagine sitting on the wooden chair in my grandma's kitchen, eating freshly baked chocolate chip cookies, and between bites switching off as we read pages from a Frog and Toad book. And for a brief while then, the letters on the page became coherent ideas and actions. I remembered how back then as a kid, I thought I'd never fully learn how to read. I'd always have to switch off pages reading with my grandma like that. I never found a book I'd wanted to read on my own. Now thinking back on that, I don't know what I was thinking. Standing here in my teacher's classroom, picking up an obscure German philosophy book called The Gay Science. I'd come so far and I'd changed so much. In that moment, all I could think about was that I wish I had a way of telling that scared little kid on his grandma's wooden chair that he wasn't dumb for not knowing how to read, that he'd figure out it eventually. Maybe it took him a little bit longer than the rest of the kids, but he'd end up enjoying it, and eventually start reading a lot more often. Just found it fun.